Good Wednesday evening, July 24th, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A fire just before noon this morning in Chelan appears to have destroyed the city-owned Chelan Recycle Center. A man who managed to elude Grant County Sheriff's deputies for more than a day was arrested Tuesday after a property owner north of Moses Lake found him hiding in his shop. Dangerous fire conditions in our weather forecast tomorrow with gusty winds and low humidity. All the details straight ahead in weather. A state mobilized strike team is in Stehekin as the Pioneer Fire reaches 30,914 acres. Fire officials said the team, whose agencies are Benton, Lewis, Spokane, and Skagit counties, arrived Monday and received their engines and trucks by barge on Tuesday. The additional equipment will help further structure protection around private structures within Stehekin. Stehekin remains under a level 1 fire advisory, as does Camas Creek to Mitchell Creek, with Hazard Creek to Safety Harbor at level 3 and Safety Harbor to Camas Creek at level 2. The fire remains at 14% contained. A fire just before noon this morning in Chelan appears to have destroyed the city-owned Chelan Recycle Center. The 2-alarm fire near the waste transfer station off Highway 97A forced the closure of a stretch of the highway for about an hour. By 1:45 p.m., Chelan Fire and Rescue said the fire was in mop-up and overhaul. The cause of the fire at 23233 Highway 97A has not yet been released. There were no reported injuries. All Seasons RV has been on the side of US 97 for 50 years, but owner Gene Halverson says it's time for things to come to a close. NCWLIFE's Casey Safford caught up with Halverson to discuss the legacy of the Wenatchee business and the decision to close on August 2nd.
It actually opened in about 1974, the spring of 1974. And as far as evolving, All Seasons RV at that time was literally all seasons. We sold snowmobiles, we sold motorcycles, we sold travel trailers, pickup campers, pickup canopies, about everything that was related to the RV industry.
So your father started the business, is that correct?
My father, my mother, and I. So
when did you officially take it over?
It was one of those things that was transitional over a multitude of years, just because as they got older, we kind of just allowed them to step back a little bit at a time until they finally was fully retired.
So what are your favorite moments to look back on now with this business?
The people. And not just the people that come in to buy, but also the people that I worked with every single day.
Tell us a bit about what has led to the decision to close the business. What factors contributed to that?
Well, a couple of things. Health issues for probably the most, and then age. You know, I've just gotten to the age where we've decided that it's just time to move on. And the opportunity has arisen, and so we have taken advantage of that. We have to reduce the inventory. That's probably the biggest challenge. Right now the RV industry is in a bit of a slump, which we've seen over the years, highs and lows. But right now it's one of those things that has kind of slowed down, but we're still selling them, so we look forward to being able to clear out the ones that we have. So.
What would you like to say to all of the customers that you have done business with over all these years?
Well, of course, the biggest thing is thank you.
Sorry, I know that's a very emotional question.
Yes.
With so much time invested here.
I'm able to see the customers coming still. You know, that's the thing that's really hard. But that's close to my heart, you know, seeing these people that had one that was here the other day that I've known since the late 60s. And of course, they hate to see us go too, but like I say, it's just time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that everyone has gotten so used to you guys being here, you know, heading towards Chelan or wherever they're going, but, you know, people are gonna remember you guys.
Yeah, I hope so. A lot of good memories.
Level 2 evacuation notices were issued yesterday for the community of Keller, which is being threatened by the NCWLIFE fire burning along the Columbia River north of Lake Roosevelt. Level 2 means the 250 or so residents of Keller should be prepared to evacuate. Fire has burned more than 12,600 acres since first being started by lightning last Wednesday. On Tuesday, fire managers said there was a very high potential for the fire to burn north into populated areas, including Keller. Fire has also forced the closure of State Highway 21 in the area and shut down the Keller ferry service. When we come back, June produced the lowest area unemployment rate of any month so far this year, but it's still up from June of 2023. And Stage 2 fire restrictions will go into effect for the unincorporated areas of Chelan County this Friday. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
I'm Keith Gaynor, running to be your next 12th District State Senator. It has been a privilege to serve you the past 6 years in the House of Representatives. I believe public safety is a critical issue that affects all of Washington. This should be one of our highest priorities. Washington families are struggling. Housing, food, and gas prices are severely affecting our budgets. We need to find better ways to support our families. Together, we can build a better Washington.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
It's vacation season. While a trip to Hawaii sounds great, we know what you really want is an inflation vacation. That's why Abby's feeds a group of 4 to 6 people for less than $26. Enjoy an inflation vacation at Abby's. You can be a superhero tonight and treat your family to Abby's famous hometown hero. This giant features our classic pepperoni, tasty Italian sausage, and crisp green peppers, all layered together for a legendary feast. Don't miss this July special pizza at a very special price.
A man who managed to elude Grant County Sheriff's deputies for more than a day was arrested Tuesday after a property owner north of Moses Lake found him hiding in his shop. 38-year-old Curtis E. Brown of Moses Lake is being held in the Grant County Jail pending charges of felony eluding. The sheriff's office said deputies first encountered Brown about 4 a.m. Monday while responding to a report of a vehicle blocking the middle of Road W Northeast. Brown reportedly was found sleeping in the vehicle but sped off after a deputy woke him up. After a pursuit, Brown reportedly crashed his car behind a shop near Road R Southeast and South Frontage Road East. Deputies said Brown then escaped on foot. About 11 a.m. Tuesday, the property owner reported finding Brown hiding in his shop where he'd apparently been all night. A woman who was in Brown's car was detained and then released without charges. June produced the lowest area unemployment rate of any month so far this year, but it's still up from June of 2023. The State Employment Security Department reports the Wenatchee Metropolitan Statistical Area unemployment rate last month was at 3.9%. That's down compared to May of this year, but up 0.6% compared to June of last year when the rate was 3.3%. June estimates also indicate the total farm employment across the two-county MSA provided 49,900 jobs. That's down by 900 jobs and negative 1.8% below the 50,800 jobs tallied in June of 2023. Stage 2 fire restrictions will go into effect for the unincorporated areas of Chelan County this Friday. The Stage 2 restrictions include no campfires at home, no target shooting outside of gun ranges, and no outdoor burning of yard debris. Hunting is still allowed in open areas as well as commercial barbecues and camping stoves. In light of the upgrade to Stage 2 fire restrictions, Chelan County's Valley Zone has been moved up to Extreme, the highest rating on the fire danger scale for the local area. Chelan County Fire Marshal Chris Peterson urges everyone to do their part and, quote, not be the spark that causes a wildfire in our area. Coming up next in tonight's feature story, after 13 years as a legislative assistant, Brant Capel is making a second run for Chelan County Commissioner. Windy and dry weather conditions tomorrow will make for dangerous fire weather around our area. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents Wonders of Wooden Avenue.
Welcome to the newest and funnest fashion boutique on Wooden, featuring mountain chic clothing and men's footwear from UGG, Brixton, Sorel, and Free People. Walk on into the Tiffany Blue Building on the second block of Wooden and check it out.
It is nearly impossible to describe what you'll find in Lush Life. It's an eclectic collection of items from around the world. See it for yourself at the corner of Wooden and Emerson.
Wonders of Wooden Avenue, North Central Washington's premier shopping district.
Our cost of living is out of control, and people are hurting. Gas, food, and housing prices are among the nation's highest. The cost of crime is soaring, and we're the worst for taxes and spending. As governor, I will fund what works, fix what doesn't, and stop spending money we just don't have. Bob Ferguson won't change a thing. I will, and that's the difference.
Dave Reichert.
Lifeline Ambulance has partnered with Wenatchee Valley Tech to provide EMT certification training within the high school. This opens up career opportunities in EMS, fire, and other medical fields, and gives these students a leg up when entering the workforce.
Students at Wenatchee Valley Tech, through our partnership with Lifeline Ambulance, can now earn their National Registry EMT certification.
What does RV stand for? Recreational vehicle or ruined vacation? At Click-It RV, we want you to have a fun, safe camping experience. So for the month of June, get to any Click-It RV store and get a professional propane leak test, tire pressure check, wheel bearings, roof, slide and battery test. And all inspections are free because we want you and yours to have a safe camping season. Thinking of upgrading? Check out their used selection of new and used top brands like Grand Design, Rockwood, Flagstaff, Winnebago, and more. So get to a Click-It RV store near you for a free inspection and keep your family safe.
In tonight's feature story, for years, Brant Capel has been a nexus between constituents and their representatives in Olympia. Now he'd like to serve in a more local capacity. Capel is making his second run for Chelan County Commissioner for District 3. He spent 13 years as a legislative assistant for 12th District office holders, most recently State Representative Keith Gaynor. The job, he says, has given him insights which would aid him well as a local commissioner.
I am a almost lifelong resident of Chelan County. Moved up here with my mom when I was pretty young, so lived in Chelan County ever since. Except for some time at WSU, got a degree in natural resource policy and political science. So natural resources, forestry, and fisheries are very important to me and near and dear to me. Great county to have that. We're 87% publicly owned. We have the Columbia River running right through the heart of our valley, and tons of opportunities to be out there recreating and enjoying our natural resources. I'm a public servant. I see myself as serving the folks of right now the 12th district in my job as a legislative assistant to Keith Gaynor. So I'm the person, the one-time full-time year-round staff member that answers the phone. So if you call into that office or you email, I'm the one on the other end that's helping you, no matter what the political affiliation is that you have or whoever you voted for. My job is to help you navigate the bureaucracy that is the state government. So look to bring that experience, my experience in natural resources, and just my heart of service and care for this county to the commission.
When you talk about problems for broader Chelan County, what kind of issues do you see, Brant, that you think are just kind of crying out to be addressed by the commissioners?
Yeah. Well, I think at this point it's going to be hard-pressed to find anyone that hasn't been touched either by the drug addiction, homeless, and the crime situation that's going on in Chelan County. The 3rd district goes all the way up to Chelan and Manson, and in Chelan and Manson, we don't see it quite as much because frankly there's not a lot of services up there. But those folks that are in those throes usually come down here into the Wenatchee Valley. We have a really unique opportunity right now. About $20 million was slated from the state capital budget to fund a substance use disorder clinic, a new facility that replaces the one that's here in town that's very old, very dilapidated, needs to be replaced. It's one of the pieces I think we're missing in helping folks that are in the throes of drug addiction. If we can get that sited and built, I think we can then present a chance for those folks to make a choice. Either going to go to treatment and try and get clean, understanding that it might not happen the first, second, or third time, but we got to do something different than we're doing, or you're going to go to jail. It's not compassion to have these people dying on the streets, to have them doing open drug use, to having them steal things. I've been affected by it. I've had things stolen from my house. I've had, the graffiti down the street. I've had all those things happening. I just don't think it's acceptable what we're allowing to have happen here.
How would you, as commissioner, balance those needs? We need more housing to house people who want to live here. Yeah. We need to conserve those areas that are designated for conservation, and we need to keep housing at a fair rate for people to be able to afford it. How do you deal with all of that?
The things that I think that the county should work on is working with our city partners. So whether that's in Chelan, Iniat, Wenatchee. I've had some really great conversations with Iniat. The mayor of Iniat and their council is really looking to be the bedroom community. As long as they're still a community, that's the part that they don't want to lose because they don't have industry there. So how do we take and encourage developers to put in more, whether that's condos or duplexes or apartments, or some sort of a housing structure that's more affordable and obtainable for the workforce in like Chelan or in Wenatchee. So at the county level, going back, I think we're really limited based on our land use ability at the county to really encourage and find and cite where we would put affordable housing. But I think it's just time that we all as a community in Chelan County come together and look at it from, what can the ports do, what can the PUDs do, and what can the commissioners do, and our local city partners do to encourage those things.
Let's take a look now at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great Wednesday. And boy, it looks great looking out our weather window from this afternoon from our Bear Mountain Sky-Fi Tower camera, looking down at beautiful Lake Chelan. A lot of boat activity, as you can imagine, out at Lake Chelan today. Air quality was good. Lighter winds in the afternoon, more wind expected tonight and especially tomorrow. We'll get into that right now as we have critical fire weather. That's through today with those winds expected that we are expecting tonight, I should say. Central and eastern Washington for tomorrow, dry, breezy winds. Gusts could reach 25 to 45 miles an hour with humidities very low, between 15 and 25%. Any fire start will spread rapidly, as you can imagine, with our tinder dry conditions. And today, it was a pretty nice one. 92 unofficially out there, 2 degrees above where we should be of 90. Same goes for our low overnight, 66 this morning, 2 degrees above our normal of 64. Our records 105, our record high set in 1994, and our record low 53 set in 2014. Sunrise 5:30 this morning, and it sets tonight at 8:44. All right, getting you into those Thursday temperatures, a big change as we get into these temperatures. 10 degrees cooler tomorrow with that wind. 81 for Moses Lake and Ephrata, 80 the high temperature in Quincy tomorrow. Look at that, 78 degrees our high in Wenatchee tomorrow. That'll be 12 degrees below normal, and we haven't talked about that in a long time. 78 in Aniat, 79 Chelan, 81 the warm spot in Omak, 76 in Leavenworth, and only 74 the high temperature tomorrow up in Lake Wenatchee. Tonight we expect mostly clear skies. There is a drive cold front that did move through the area today, and that will kick up those winds as we get into tonight. Expect windy conditions. It will be cooler than we've seen too, with lows in the upper 50s for Thursday. There we go with all of that wind, and look at western Montana. Much cooler on Thursday, as we just mentioned. Highs only in those upper 70s throughout a big chunk of north central Washington. On Friday, mostly sunny. Low pressure goes up into Canada, and that Pacific high takes back our weather picture. Mostly sunny and warmer. High temperatures in the mid-80s on Friday, so still a little bit below normal Friday, but we'll make up for that as we get into Saturday with mostly sunny skies. An afternoon breeze is possible Saturday. We'll warm up. High temperatures back to normal to around 90 degrees to kick off our weekend. I'm telling you, folks, this weekend looks really, really nice. And the same goes for Sunday. You can see an area of low pressure now that's beginning to push a cloud deck into parts of western Washington. Mostly sunny for us on Sunday. We're going to warm up too, with highs then in the low 90s. And then as we get you into Monday, here is that little area of low pressure and a trough beginning to form. That will really push some clouds our way on Monday. In fact, we're going to call it partly cloudy. We're still going to be plenty warm here in the central and eastern part of the state with high temperatures around 90. And then Tuesday, can you believe it? A chance for rain here in the Wenatchee area. Mostly cloudy, and we're going to see scattered rain showers throughout the state on Tuesday. There is that area of low pressure, so that will bring that up our way. Going to cool down on Tuesday with the clouds. Highs then into the mid-80s. All right, your 7-day forecast, 59 tonight, and look at Thursday. Windy, sunny, much cooler, 78 the high, 55 our overnight low, and then our temperatures slowly rebound as we get into the upcoming weekend. Mostly sunny for both Saturday and Sunday with high temperatures around 90, increasing clouds Monday and 90 degrees, and then mostly cloudy, a chance for some showers Tuesday with a high temperature then of 87. And that's a look at your north central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Want to stay up to date on the latest news in the area? Tired of paying for your news? Download the NCWLIFE app now. No subscriptions necessary. Get news, weather, sports, and more live as it happens. Available for iPhone and Android in the App Store. Local news at your fingertips. Don't miss the stories that matter to you. Stay connected. Download the NCWLIFE app now.
Well, a happy Wednesday to you. Let's see, it's another day. Mariners lost again. Yeah, they lost their 6th straight last night, falling to the Angels 5-1. Seattle continues to find new ways to lose. This time it was a bases-loaded walk, and then they just started throwing the ball around the yard.
Yeah, here. 3 balls, no strikes. And there's ball 4. It wasn't close. They still have him loaded with no outs. And Neto bunts first base side. It's a squeeze play. Gilbert from his knees throws it away. 1 run scores. Here comes Drury on his way to the plate. He points back at the third baseman Rojas, who will be called for obstruction, and Drury will score. 2 errors in this inning. And now Rengifo lines one to left center field. That's a base hit. It scores Moniak and Neto. It's a 5-run 5th inning, and welcome back Luis Rengifo.
How important it is to have him back in there, Wayne. He's a guy that's been going the other way so effectively. Drives in 2.
That might be 2. 1 and 2. Run does score.
It gets Dylan Moore to pop this one up on the infield. Anthony Rendon is under it, and say goodnight to the Mariners. The Angels have beaten them again. 5 straight wins against Seattle. More boos from the crowd here at T-Mobile Park.
Seattle wrapped up the series today with the Angels. They'll head on the road tomorrow to play Chicago over the weekend against the White Sox, and then head for Boston. Well, despite losing 6 straight, the Mariners are still tied with Houston atop the American League West because the Astros are also losing. They fell to Oakland last night 8-2. Texas, meanwhile, draws closer with a 3-2 win over the White Sox. Rangers are now 3 games back of Seattle and Houston. The Apple Sox celebrated a personal milestone with a 15-0 blasting of Kamloops last night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Quincy Vassar set the all-time strikeout record, surpassing Hunter Boyd's mark of 110 in the 3rd inning. 1 strike away from the record books here with the Wenatchee Apple Sox in his stellar Sox career. 1-2 the count. Pitch on the way to the plate is strike 3 called. Gone looking is Sedekasi, and give Quincy Vassar the record. 111 strikeouts to now hold the record in Wenatchee Apple Sox history, as the baseball will come out and he will put it on a shelf somewhere.
How did that feel when you got that backwards K to make the record?
Yeah, it just felt like a long time coming. Just super happy with the team we have this year, and these guys have been helping each other throughout the lineup and on defense, and it's really easy to pitch when you're comfortable with the defense you have and the coaching staff we have.
Great crowd on hand here tonight. When you got that record, it was announced and you took your hat off, I see. Was that a little recognition to your teammates and to the crowd here tonight?
For sure. All 3 years I've been here is a blessing. All 3 years, great defense, great lineup. So it's really easy to play when we just have a bunch of good guys on the team and always cheering each other on.
Peyton Doherty drove in 6 runs on the night, while James Castagnola hit his first homer of the summer. 2 teams meet again tonight at 6:35 at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. You can listen to the game on Sunny FM. Other West Coast League play last night. Bellingham edged Kelowna 1-0. Ben topped Cowlitz in 10 innings 6-5. Corvallis handed Richfield its first loss of the second half 7-5. Walla Walla whipped Yakima Valley 10-1. Portland stopped Springfield 8-4. Nanaimo and Edmonton postponed due to some smoke up in that area. Wenatchee's lead in the second half standings in the north is now 2 games over Nanaimo and Bellingham. Port Angeles 2.5 games back. That's a look at sports. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Wednesday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.